Entrepreneurship is not a job. Not a job. Entrepreneurship is a calling. It's a passion if you're a founder. Now, you might be employees, and yeah, you have a job. But if you want to found something, and you're here in the Valley because it's cool, you're in the wrong place. This is like being an artist and a sculptor or a composer, because you're going to be dealing with some of the world's most miserable days. People will quit. You'll run out of money. You know, the toilets will stop up, and you're the janitor as well. Or literally, you know, screaming matches with co-founders. Unless you're driven to make something happen out of nothing, you'll go, what do I need this for? But if you're driven, those are just obstacles you remove. The whole lean startup movement started because I went and actually did a postmortem on 21 years in 8 startups as an entrepreneur. And it's a funny conundrum. You know, people love lean startup, customer development, business model canvas, particularly engineers, because, oh, I found the formula for success. You know, let me be the first to call bullshit on that. There is no formula for success. What we now know is how to make startups fail less. We don't know how to make you individually succeed more. We now know how to eliminate, in a room like this, all the stupid infant mortality dumb things we used to do about wandering, you know, in 15 different directions. This whole lean movement and stuff I teach is all about focusing your minimum time, money, and effort, because you have a finite amount of those, on the right directions. You guys, as a community, do the world's worst job in communicating, and I inferred it earlier, is you guys have pattern recognition experience, and somehow you don't explain it like that. You explain it as individual sheer genius on the part of you, the investor, or whatever, instead of just saying, let me explain to you that while you, Mr. Founder, are seeing one company, yours, I'm sitting through 10 to 15 companies in the same domain. And let me explain to you what I'm seeing in the industry and how founders have failed and whatever. And therefore, when I'm opening my mouth, I am going to tell you in a board meeting whether this is my hot opinion of the day or I am seeing this movie unfold outside the bounds of your company. And if it were explained like that, then smart founders will go, oh, either the VC's having a bad day, or holy cow, they're trying to give me some pattern recognition advice about stuff that's going on elsewhere. That could be incredibly useful. Yet I've never heard it framed like that because there was always a large ego component of I'm a VC and you're just the dumb founder. Luckily, I believe that, as you've now kind of understood,
it's usually the other way around.
The Valley is kind of like now recognizing it's the powers in the other direction. Is, excuse me, you fund the money we make for you guys. I did 8 startups, and 3 of them I did with the same team. When you have the heat's on and there's a gun to your head, you get to find out whether everybody steps up or not. And the time to do that, by the way, is not in a startup. Just as an aside, there never was a way for you to test before whether the group of people you're thinking of founding a company with actually is going to last. You'll find that the characteristics that work for you as a co-founder might not be the characteristics that work for someone else. Some of you just might want somebody who's smart. Some of you might want a shoulder to cry on. Some of you might be looking for, you know, what are the complementary skills, or a hustler, a hacker, and a designer if you're doing a web startup. Okay, I checked the box. Well, for those of you who just think it's a box checking exercise, are going to be incredibly confused and depressed because under stress, those are the last things you're thinking about. What you're thinking about is when the stuff hits the fan, are your co-founders there working with you to work through the problem, or did they check out? I think of 3 types of advice you'll need in your career. Somebody who teaches you something, you pay money to acquire a skill. Somebody who coaches you, but I use the word mentor for something very special. You get mentors for about 10 or 15 years in your career, sometimes from your late 20s or 20s to maybe mid-30s. And these are people who have seen more than you have, and they're interested in your career in life. And you can't ask for them. The way I ended up getting mentors is unconsciously, what I didn't realize is I was giving back more than I was getting. It's a big idea. If all you're doing is asking, can somebody be my mentor, you're kind of missing the point. If you're not interesting enough and you know, crazy enough or whatever, then you're not going to be able to give back.